I'm going to beat your ass while I'm wearing my fucking white tux on Sunday.
You're listening to Let's Talk Fantasy Football, where men of fantasy genius have realized, hey guys, we don't need real football skills to dominate on the fantasy field. Yeah. So slap on your pads and grab your helmet. Shit's about to get real.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Let's Talk Fantasy Football. My name is Nick Walsh. I'm your host tonight, and with me is my co-host, one of my favorite people to talk football with, and probably my favorite overall person to watch football with, because no one reacts, no one screams as loud, no one is more emotional about it than my good friend Don Chrisman. Don, what's up, dude?
I'm known to be a pretty shy guy.
just real shy, real quiet, doesn't start screaming about things ever.
I don't think I've ever been called obnoxious.
No, definitely never. And I don't think you ever wore a white tux to prom in high school either. So
yeah, that shit's real lame. Would never do that.
Bringing back the deep cuts.
Well,
just to illustrate.
It was a pinstriped white on white tux. All right.
just to illustrate the exact type of person that Don is.
A really cool and humble guy.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very cool and humble. So anyway, I am here with Don, and we are here to do part 2 of the Week 6 preview. But before we do that, we're going to give a quick shout out to BenchBoss. They are the revolutionary app that allows you to play fantasy football live while watching the game on TV. You can predict the plays, the results of the play, and literally play fantasy football. And you can sign up for the beta now by going to letstalkfantasyfootball.com/benchboss. So make sure you're checking them out. Guys, we say it every time, but make sure you're subscribing on whatever podcast service you use. Please give us a review if you like us. If you don't, maybe don't give us a review. And make sure you're checking out our apps on iOS and Android. They're both compatible with your Amazon Echo if you have one of those as well, too. So, Don, we got 6 games. We got some questions. We got some things to do. So let's start jagging off, man.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we're starting the part 2 podcast with the Los Angeles Rams at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars here at home are a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under here is 42.5. The Jags defense is legit. Ben Roethlisberger just threw 5 interceptions against them.
They almost made him retire right there.
Dude, that was like really weird. And then he came back and was like, no, I'm fine. It's just manic depressive Ben Roethlisberger. But anyway, I feel like there's very little fantasy production or fantasy goodness to be had in this game. On the Rams side, with Jacksonville being so good on defense, who are your starters there for you?
I'm still going to play Gurley, and I think that's it.
Okay. I'm with you on Gurley. I think Gurley's an every week start despite his down week last week. I'm mildly interested in Cooper Kupp because the Jacksonville boundary corners, they're 2, outside receiver corners, A.J. Boye and Jalen Ramsey are 2 of the best in the NFL. And while they're not bad in the slot seems like the place to attack them. So I feel like if Goff's going to get any production, it's going to go to Cooper Kupp. So I think if you're desperate, Kupp might be a start.
Yeah, Kupp's your safest player to play too. I know that Sammy Watkins came out and said he doesn't know if they're going to work more targets to him. So I'm sure he's really thrilled right now. But Sammy Watkins is definitely – I hope you sat him last week as well. And I know that Robert Woods is a name that everyone throws around. This is not the week to be getting cute with Robert Woods in play.
Outside receivers against the Jaguars, unless it's like one of the elite of the elite, like you're just not playing them.
Yeah.
That's a rule.
They make at least one wide receiver cry every game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're really, really good. We'll see what happens here. On the Jacksonville side of the ball, I only have one play. I'm interested in who you think we should play this week.
Mr. Leonard Fournette.
And that's it, right? Am I wrong?
There's no one else to play.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not comfortable with Marquise Lee. I'm not comfortable with Allen Hurns, Mercedes Lewis, Blake Bortles, any of them. And Fournette Fournette last week, I think myself, you, and Vinny, we're all kind of like temper expectations on him against this Steelers defense. Like, he might be good, and then he puts up like a 30-point week on you. It's just,
did he have 181 yards?
Yeah, it's like unbelievable what he's doing. He's quickly ascended into the upper echelon and one of the most consistent running backs in the league.
Yeah, he's a big dude, and he runs over people. He's your everyday start, and he's fucking good.
Yeah, that's crazy that in this game there's like 2.5 starts, and that's it.
It's the two running backs.
Like we're done talking about it. That's all we needed to say, really. But yeah, who you got in this one, Don? You jagging off still?
I'm gonna jag off watching Fournette run all over the Rams.
All right, I'm gonna take the Rams because I think Sean McVay is the wunderkind. I think he's
wow.
He's coach, but anyway,
throwing it back to like high school German class.
Oh yeah, dude. Frau. What was her last name?
Frau Coughlin? What's her Frau?
Frau Coughlin.
Yeah.
Who was that dickhead we had in 7th and 8th grade? Hair.
Oh, I don't remember. And then he was really weird. Hair something, and then I had Hair Jarmolowitz.
Was it Hair Sanders?
I don't know. I remember him. He had like that flat top cut.
Yeah. He was a bigger dude with a flat top. And I don't mean muscular, but
and he wanted to buy a school rose when they were selling roses for $1 for his girlfriend. I was like, dude, I already know.
Yeah.
No bueno. You might as well go to the fucking prom in a white tux.
So if you came to the podcast for throwback stories about me and Don in middle school and high school, then you came to the right place. Don, let's move on to the next game here before we talk more about high school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we have Tampa Bay at Arizona. This game, the line is interesting to me because it actually opened with Arizona as a 1-point favorite, and it's been bet over to Tampa Bay as a 2.5-point favorite. So that's a 3.5-point swing in the direction of Tampa Bay already in the week. So Tampa Bay is currently a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under is 45. And again, they're a road favorite. What do you think about Tampa Bay's offense this week against, what has been a good Arizona secondary, even though they've given up a lot of points this year? What do you think is going to go on with Jameis and the crew?
I think Jameis actually is a streamer this week because Arizona's defense, they do have some injuries. So I think this would actually be a good time to play Jameis. He's throwing a lot of targets to Mike Evans. I think Deshaun Jackson is still a play, and I think Cameron Brate's a play as well. So I think with those 3 targets there that I think are playable this week, I think Jameis would be a pretty decent streamer.
That's fair. I don't think you're sitting Mike Evans, but I'm afraid with Patrick Peterson on him because Arizona is definitely a team that's willing to shadow. I am all over Deshaun Jackson. I think he's one of the best plays of the week this week.
Cool. You heard it here first.
And then what do you think about Doug Martin?
Yeah, I'm still playing Doug Martin. You had a good game against, again, the Patriots defense is not really a team that you want to have a real-life comparison with because they're not a very good rush defense. But I think Doug Martin, you're still running him out there. So,
yeah, I know it was an easy matchup and whatever else. I think Doug Martin's another guy who's an every-week starter until further notice.
Definitely.
So keep that going. And then you mentioned Cameron Brate, definitely a guy you can consider at tight end, though I think there are some other guys. We talked about him on the last podcast, the Ryan Griffins, the ASJs, that I personally like a little bit more. Arizona side of the ball, I wasn't considering Jameis as much, but to me, Carson Palmer is a great streamer this week. What do you think about Palmer and the passing targets here?
This would be a great week to play Carson Palmer, and this is a good matchup for him, but he still hasn't even produced poorly. I mean, he's been within the top QB 15 almost every week. So especially with this really bad pass defense, I think Carson Palmer is going to have a good week. Larry Fitzgerald is dominating in targets. He's already got 51, so he is a must start. I also think John Brown is a play. I think he came back into that number 2 wideout role. I think he was in 80% of the snaps last week. It was something crazy. 80%, yeah. So I think John Brown is someone that you can throw into the flex this week as well.
Yeah, I'm about it. See, for me, I have trouble pinpointing. I know Fitzgerald has the most targets, but I have trouble pinpointing really where the production is going to go to these wide receivers, which is why I like Palmer so much, because I think when you get Palmer, you capture all of that production. And as you said, it's the prevailing thought is that Carson Palmer is terrible because he is. He's looked terrible and he's played terribly, but as a terrible quarterback, he still produced for fantasy. So, right. So it's been one of those things where the eye test has been like, ugh, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute, he got me 18 points. So it ends up working out, and I have no doubt that it will again this week. Peterson went there in that trade. I don't think he's worth a play at all this week or
Definitely not.
really in the future. But what do you think about Andre Ellington, who has 24 targets in the past 2 games out of the backfield?
Yeah, that's cool. I think you could still roll out Ellington. You really, I don't think that you even have to worry about AP against Ellington this week because AP just got there. I don't even know how much he's got to learn the playbook and everything else. I don't know how much you're really going to see with him there. I would expect not with Peterson. I did pick him back up in a league, but that's just because my running backs are starting to be really bad, and it's in the hopes of maybe it'll be something. But I think Ellington is still a good play for the next few weeks to come for sure.
Yeah, I'm very about it. Let's pick this one, Don. I'm going to take Arizona.
I'm going to go Tampa Bay.
All right, fair enough. And then we'll move on to Pittsburgh at Kansas City. We just talked a little bit about Ben Roethlisberger and his weirdness after this past week, but Kansas City's a 4.5-point favorite here. The over-under is 46. We'll start with Pittsburgh. Am I wrong in saying it's just Le'Veon and Antonio Brown this week?
Yeah, in my notes I literally just say play Bell and Brown. I think there's a little bit of hype, I guess, on Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, I picked him up in a couple leagues this week, but I don't intend on playing him. I just kind of picked him up as a stash.
Yeah, Kansas City's really good this year, obviously, so it's not the time to do it, but I think that's someone that you can pick up and have on your bench and can be a good flex play possibly, in the next few weeks to come when you have buys. He's been out snapping and running more routes than Bryant in the past few games, so he could take over that number 2 spot.
They even said as well that they might give Bryant some breaks this week, like the coaches in press conferences or whatever, as in sets where they have Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, and then Eli Rogers. So Martavis appears to be getting phased out. That's not what I thought was going to happen going into the year. I had a lot of Martavis going into the year. I was wrong on it. And you can't start him, and Juju Smith-Schuster should probably be owned in most leagues. But as we said, just Le'Veon and Antonio Brown this week. No reason to own or start Roethlisberger anymore. KC side of the ball, Tyreek Hill just got added to the injury report today with a hamstring issue. It hasn't really been talked about, so it likely isn't serious. And then in the other injury news, Travis Kelce got a full practice in today, which is a good sign because he's dealing with a concussion. I know he hasn't been cleared to play in a game yet, but it's a good sign that he practiced in full today. So talk to me about the Chiefs offense in general and who you like this week.
Yeah, man. Kareem Hunt is nasty.
Yes.
Nasty. Oh, my God. For all those that I tip my hat off to, because I was not about trying to figure out that backfield going into the season before Spencer Ware went down. So for all those that did that fucking pay off. So, again, you must play Kareem Hunt every week. Tyreek Hill, like you said, it shouldn't be an issue, and he should be playing. I'm playing Tyreek Hill. And Travis Kelce, they haven't cleared him yet on the protocol, but I'm going to assume that he will be cleared with that full practice, and he is a play as well. But those are my 3 guys that I'm playing.
Yeah, absolutely. If with Hill and Kelce, if they go, you play them. And then Alex Smith, is he an every week quarterback at this point, or are you a little? I don't know.
Yeah. I would go with. Travis Kelce. I'm not Travis Kelce. Alex Smith is very whatever. He's going to have a decent floor for you, but I think you should go and even stream and fly for someone that has better matchups. Like you're playing a Jacoby Brissett. I would still probably go with the Jacoby Brissett he can have a bunch of rushing touchdowns and he has a good matchup.
That's fair. Yeah, I think I'm the same way. I don't mind Alex Smith as a play. I'm not going out of my way to play him. Who you got in this one, Don?
Yeah, they're an Arrowhead, so I'm going Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm going Kansas City as well. They might be the best team in the NFL right now. Yeah, congrats, Shrek. All right, so with that being said, let's get a quick word from our friends at BenchBoss, and we'll be right back.
This year, dominate your friends with free play-by-play fantasy football from BenchBoss. BenchBoss is the first play-by-play fantasy football game where you must think like the players and coaches on the field as you predict the outcome of every play. Earn rewards as you compete against friends and fans across the country. BenchBoss is currently recruiting beta testers, and we need you. Visit benchboss.tv to learn more and sign up today.
And we're back. That was our good friends over at BenchBoss. Make sure you're checking them out at letstalkfantasyfootball.com/benchboss. Don, we have 3 more games to get into, and then we got a couple listener questions, which we will answer as well. But the first of these games, which I am completely perplexed by this game and these teams, and I don't know up from down and down from up in this. It's the Chargers at the Raiders. There's no line yet because Carr is expected to play, but we don't know if he's actually going to go. Also, Mike Williams, the Chargers rookie wide receiver, is expected to make his debut. I don't know how much he's actually going to play. I have no idea what to think of this whole game. So Don, talk to me about, I guess, the Chargers to start and what you think.
Cool, man. Yeah, I think that's Mike Williams should be someone that everybody should be on the watch to possibly pick up in the next week. I don't think he's going to do much this week, but, they had a lot of high hopes for him going into this season. In the next few weeks, he might be someone that will wean out a Tyrell Williams and Travis Benjamin, even though I don't think Travis Benjamin was owned in many leagues as it is. Other than that, Phillip Rivers actually has been a pretty good starter almost every week. He's been within top 12 in the last 4 out of 5 games, even though their record doesn't really show for it. I think he's someone that you need to play against this Oakland defense. Keenan Allen, again, just another year where he's one of the tops in NFL targets, already at 52. I think he's going to be someone that you don't sit this week. I also even think that Hunter Henry is someone that you play. They've been really starting to phase out Gates now, and Hunter Henry's more of that tight end that everyone's been hoping for earlier this year. So I think you got Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry, and Melvin Gordon, along with Phillip Rivers, are your starters.
Yeah, I think you're probably about right there. Henry was the question that I had big time. He took over the lion's share of the snaps this past week. Do you think that continues? And if it does, the Raiders are a good matchup for him. So he's worth a play. I think you hit the nail on the head there. So let's move over to the Raiders side of the ball. As I said, Carr is expected to play. Who knows if he does? And then if he does, how effective is he going to be? But Carr aside, I have trouble really recommending starting any of these Raiders running backs. And I know Lynch is the only one that you would have really started anyway. I don't think you can start Marshawn Lynch. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I think you can go elsewhere. Again, another person I would play, Elijah McGuire, over him.
Yeah, absolutely. You're completely right there, and that's kind of the litmus test for this week. I think is would you rather play this guy or Elijah McGuire? And if it's Elijah McGuire, you shouldn't be playing that guy. That's kind of the way it is there. In terms of the passing game and the receivers, I'd be interested to see whether they just let Hayward play aside this week for the Chargers, or if they have him shadow someone. I think Crabtree's a good play at receiver either way. And Cooper is really tough. I think if Carr plays, you probably play him, but I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, Cooper's got to be one of the biggest busts of this year. He was, probably your second round pick.
Mm-hmm.
I have him in a league because I didn't have him in any other ones. So, I want to get Cooper in. He's just been sitting on my bench, so I'm sure everyone is pretty disappointed. It came out today that he's very optimistic that that's all going to change, but this isn't the week that I'm going to just throw Cooper in there and hope for the best.
Yeah, I'm going to play him in daily just because when he goes off, I need to be on it. But And that's, I mean, like, he's going to be really low owned and he's cheap. So, like, it makes sense in daily, I think, to throw him in there in tournaments. But it's
with your Hogan
like,
Lewis stack.
dude, honestly, I might have like a stack that, or a lineup that has Kevin Hogan, Duke Johnson, Amari Cooper, just like Terrell Pryor, like fucking like the grossest plays. And like, if it goes off, I'm going to win a ton of money. But
That's great. Pryor's definitely a good play, so I do recommend that one.
fair enough. But yeah, I mean, Cooper, like I know he's a good wide receiver, you know, and I know he's got a case of the yips where it comes to the drops. Like, things just aren't working out for him. I don't know exactly the specifics, but I feel like at some point he has to come back from that. I don't know if it's this week or not. Either way, play Crabtree. That's all I got.
That's fair.
All right, who are you taking here, Don?
Sorry, Walsh, I'm going to bolt up, man.
Fuck you. No, that's fine. I'm going to take the Raiders, but I'm not very confident at all. It's been a weird year as a Raiders fan, but
definitely we had high expectations for Oakland this year.
And like the first 2 weeks, they were great too.
Yep.
So it is what it is. Ever since that Monday night dud, or what was it, Sunday night? It was Sunday night against the Redskins.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, let's move on to this game is gross too. Denver, or the Giants at the Broncos. So this is the largest spread of the week. Denver is a 12-point favorite, and the over-under is only 39. On Denver's side of the ball, I think it's really obvious, and I think it's C.J. Anderson, it's Emmanuel Sanders, and it's DT.
Yeah, another person that you might want to play DFS-wise and play if you have him is Sanders, Eli Apple, because Janoris Jenkins is most likely going to follow DT. Eli Apple has allowed 4 TDs in the last 5 games, so you would look to – I believe that Sanders is going to have a big game against Giants this week.
It's definitely possible. Eli Apple has just been toasted the entire year. So, yeah, could totally see that happening.
And Cromartie's not playing.
Doubt. Yeah, he apparently got into a huge fight with, like, the coaches or whatever.
With McAdoo,
he wanted to be playing outside above Eli Apple, and they were like, no, Eli Apple's good, but he's not. But anyway, and I think it's – I don't know if it's – so – I have 2 plays on the Giants that I think are actual plays. And who do you think? Do you think there's any plays on the Giants? Like, who are your guys there?
I mean, if you have to, I guess Gallman. But I don't know. I was going to say I'm not going to play anyone. I'd kind of stay away from everyone. But I'd like to hear what your thoughts are.
So I'm on Evan Ingram. Even after his 0-point week this past week, I think Ingram. You know, if they're vulnerable anywhere with Denver, it's the middle of the field. So Ingram, I think, might have a decent game. They generally give up more points to tight ends than other positions. And then the other guy that I'm on this week is actually Shane Vereen. And I know Gallman and Darkwa have gotten the majority of the carries the past couple of weeks. My thinking is the Giants are going to be down a lot in the fourth quarter. And Denver is going to be playing – prevent type defenses, that sort of thing, where the passes that are open are the shitty little running back hook out of the backfield, so I could see Vereen being a garbage time hero. And I think even if he's not, he probably has a floor of like 4 catches for 25 yards, which if you're in a PPR league, like 6.5 points isn't going to murder you. I'm kind of like, honestly, it's because I'm desperate at running back in a couple of leagues, and like I've done it. I've picked up Vereen and been like, I'm just going to swallow this week.
That is the level of desperacy there. I don't know if I'm on the Vereen thing. I think that's a very fair point where you say that, because I think Vereen will play more with that sense. I just don't think it's going to come into fantasy value. But I did totally skip out on Evan Ingram. I actually am starting him in a league. I'm cool with that. I totally forgot about that. I think Evan Ingram's going to be the go-to guy for Eli now more than ever. Yeah. Especially that Shepard is definitely I don't think Shepard's playing. They said it's unlikely. So
no, Shepard's not.
So their starting receivers are Roger Lewis and Tavares King. Fucking woof.
Also, I think Roger Lewis is worth a pickup, not a start this week, but he's worth a pickup and stash in some leagues because they got to throw it to someone. It probably would be Roger Lewis.
Fair enough.
I'm taking Denver.
Oh yeah, it's not going to even be a chance. It's Denver.
All right, and then last game of the week, Monday night game, Tennessee at Indianapolis. Sorry, what a fucking game! Just really, really doing well on those primetime slates. Giants at Broncos and
Tennessee
fucking Titans at Colts. But there's no line yet on this game because we don't know if Mariota's going to play. And on the Tennessee side of the ball, everything in terms of fantasy plays depends on whether Mariota does play. If he plays, I think you can play Rashard Matthews, you can play Delaney Walker, and you can play DeMarco Murray. And if he doesn't, you can only play DeMarco Murray.
That's fair.
Do you have anything else on that?
No, I'm definitely not playing Rashard Matthews without Marcus Mariota. Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption. I think DeMarco Murray's the must play. Other than that, no.
Okay, and then what do you think about the Colts side of the ball?
Yeah, with Indy, I know that you're playing Jacoby Brissett against me this week. I don't hate it. I think it's a good week to do the streaming for Jacoby Brissett. Again, not only he's not afraid to air it out, that's for sure. He's given T.Y. Hilton quite a bit of value. So if you're a T.Y. Hilton owner, you're happy that Jacoby Brissett's going to air it out to him. But also he has rushing capabilities as well. So I think Jacoby Brissett's a good streamer. I think you play T.Y. Hilton as well. But I believe that's it. I mean, they did say that Marlon Mack is going to have more of a role over Frank Gore. Frank Gore has been very consistent with like 10 points a week for you. So, but I would still sit him if I could.
Yeah, Mac for me is a pickup and stash, and then when I see he's actually getting the work, I'll do it. Despite the fact that he produced this past week, he was still outsnapped by Gore and Robert Turbin. He only saw 22% of the snaps. So
yep.
I'm not going to play a running back for the Colts who's getting 22% of the snaps. But regarding Brissett and Hilton, Brissett's two bad games this past year, the past couple of weeks were against Seattle and Arizona. He's had two good games otherwise, fantasy-wise. I think he had 27 and 17 points. And in those two good games, quote-unquote, T.Y. Hilton had 18 targets, 14 catches for 320 yards and one touchdown. So both of them are locks to me this week.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't think you need to go further than that. I know Moncrief has gotten some red zone looks and whatever. I wouldn't do it. If anything, I would play Kamara Aiken over him because he's getting more targets. But, yeah, that's about it.
Cool, man. Yeah. I agree.
All right, cool. Well, then let's get into the question, let's pick this game. Who you got for this one?
I'm going to go with Indy.
Yeah, I'm going to take Indy too. I want a Jacoby Brissett win. I like him. I almost don't want Luck to come back because I like Jacoby Brissett. But
I like Jacoby Brissett a lot too, other than this week because you're fucking playing him. But other than that, I do like him. I like what he's doing, and it's awesome. He's the third-string quarterback only a few months ago, and now he's starting for Indy and doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into the questions here. We got three of them. The first two are from Adam. These all came in through Facebook. So the first question from Adam, he needs one wide receiver, one running back, and a flex out of Buck Allen, Will Fuller, Andre Ellington, Demaryius Thomas, Mark Ingram, and Alvin Kamara. Interesting.
I don't have – is this did you just put those on the doc?
Yeah.
Sweet, I didn't have that up.
Okay, never mind. So
you can answer first, and I'm pulling it back up.
Okay, so for me, I think the running back is obvious. I think it's Ingram. I think wide receiver-wise, you're going to Demaryius Thomas. And then flex, I don't remember if this was PPR or not, but I might honestly play Ingram and Kamara. It's a little tough there.
Yeah, I like Kamara this week. I think that's –
Do you think he'd play Kamara over Ellington and Buck Allen, though? I feel like you can immediately rule out Fuller for me.
Ooh, I might play Buck Allen. I would actually probably play Buck Allen over Kamara.
Okay, so you would go Ingram, Thomas, because I think those two are obvious. Ingram and Thomas is the first two, and then you'd go Buck Allen.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'd agree on that. I think it's a really tough choice between Kamara, Ellington, and Buck Allen for the flex spot. So Buck Allen, I think, would work there. And then the next question from Adam: which of the aforementioned running backs from that previous question should he try to trade for Amari Cooper? Apparently, someone's really down on Amari Cooper, so you can get rid of Allen, Ellington, Ingram, or Kamara for Amari. I wouldn't get rid of Ingram. Any of the other three, though. I mean, even two of them.
Yeah, I think I would get rid of I don't know. I guess again, I really don't know how much of an AP is going to do on Ellington, but Ellington's been playing pretty well. You already have Ingram, and I would play Ingram over Kamara. I think I would give up Kamara for Amari Cooper if I was going to do it.
Dude, I'd even I know he said he was trying to propose a trade or whatever, so I'd even be willing to give up say Buck Allen and Will Fuller. I would make that trade for Amari Cooper right now.
That's fair.
So, you can make a package there and try and see what the owner has, but I'd be willing to give up more than just one of those running backs, which I think the question is just
unless that guy is really low on Cooper and wants to give it up just for that running back.
Fuck, yeah, if you can trade Buck Allen for Amari Cooper straight up, do it, but
yeah.
All right, and then the last question here from Justin, again on Facebook. So full point PPR here. Justin needs a tight end and a flex, which the flex can be a tight end. And it's between Jordan Reed, Evan Ingram, Elijah McGuire. I misspelled McGuire and put Maguire. I don't know what that means. So Jordan Reed, Evan Ingram, Elijah McGuire, or Amari Cooper. What do you think here, Don?
I think I'm playing Evan Ingram as the tight end, and I'm playing Elijah McGuire as your flex.
I'm on both tight ends. I'm on the Jordan Reed, Evan Ingram look for these two. So take that for what you will, and I guess move forth from there. But we'll see what happens. Don, you got anything else on this week? I'm gonna beat your ass, you stupid bitch, dude.
I'm gonna beat your ass while I'm wearing my fucking white tux on Sunday.
Damn it!
I might shave back my chin strap too for it.
Oh no, that's the thing we didn't mention. The fact that you had a chin strap in high school.
It wasn't a thin chin strap though.
It was kind of thin.
It wasn't
the thickest chin strap in the world.
Whatever, man. I was so cool.
All right, Don was cool. I had an afro. I still have an afro. Anyway, so we were both extremely cool, is what we're telling you.
Right.
And when you're looking at people to play, do they pass the Elijah McGuire test? Those are the morals of this podcast. So there you have it, guys. Don, you got anything else for the listeners this week?
Nah, that's about it, guys.
All right. Well, for Don, I am Walsh. This has been part 2 of the Week 6 preview. Later, podcast.
This has been Let's Talk Fantasy Football. Thanks for listening.